Well, here we are in Gosford, New South Wales, and in particular we're on top of the rooftop car park of Central Coast Leagues Club in Dane Drive, Gosford. Gosford is about probably 95 kilometres north of the Sydney CBD, and today's adventure sees us riding from Gosford to our hometown of Woy Woy. Mountain behind us was the pinnacle of Central Coast TV. That's where the TV station repeater was. They come from Sydney and Newcastle. These apartment blocks here went in about late 90s or early 2000s. Central Coast Leagues Club is was the home of the rugby league on the Central Coast, and right behind us, or now in front of us in view, is the Central Coast Stadium, which was originally built in about late 90s and home of the Northern Eagles in the Super League competition in 1997. It's now home to the Central Coast Mariners A-League Soccer Club, with various rugby league teams also playing up here during the season. South Sydney, West Tigers, and I do believe the New Zealand Warriors or Auckland Warriors have set up camp here and have this a home base due to the COVID restrictions in New South Wales. Over there we have the Bowls Club, which has been there forever. This used to be Graham Park, used to be the home of the Central Coast Rugby League. Gosford Townies played here. Down there there's another little reserve just behind the other side of the Leagues Club, and looking out there is the Brisbane Waters. We're basically going to follow the water's edge down to along the Gosford, through Point Clare, Tascott, Cooliwong, and into Woy Woy. Have a look down there, you can see the water tower at Orange Grove. Just let me fact check myself there, Brendan. That water tower is at Orange Grove? Or is that the one down near Pearl Beach? No, Orange Grove is more to the left. It can't be Orange Grove.
I think that's the one on top of Mount Ettalong.
Yeah, Mount Ettalong, so towards Pearl Beach. Yeah, okay. But nonetheless, that round about that vicinity of where that silver water tower is, that is our destination today. You can see it there in the centre of the screen. This ride should be about 10 kilometres to Woy Woy, then probably a further 4 or 5 to Umina Beach. Followed back via Ettalong, Mount Ettalong, back into Woy Woy, so probably around about 25-30 k's all up. So this is where we grew up, this is where I grew up, this is where my friend Brendan Wood grew up. Welcome, Brendan.
Yeah, it's good to be back here, Graham.
Good to be back here on the Central Coast. We spent a lot of time here at the Central Coast Stadium, Acaba Graham Park, before it was called Central Coast Stadium, but a glorious day. A bit cloudy today, but 18-19 degrees so far. Sun's got a bit of heat warmth to it, but yeah. Go for a bike ride. So yeah, Central Coast Stadium, live from the rooftop car park of Central Coast Leagues Club. Here we are on the eastern side of the rooftop car park of Central Coast Leagues Club. This vacant block used to be called Froggies. It was a roller skating, pinball, gamer type venue. Gosford train station parking over there, and this big building behind us is the old Gosford City Council, which merged with the Wyong City Council, now to be called the Central Coast Council, which is now in serious receivership and about administration. I think they're about $55 million in debt.
I think it's 500 million. It might be
500. Well, there you go. $560 million in debt. So what they're having at the moment is they're selling off all the council-owned land, such as
green, a lot of parkland around
Terrigal, Womble. Parkland, so the parklands around Terrigal, Womble, Umina shopping centre car parks, all being sold off to private enterprise. So fire sale is the technical term there. Thanks, Brendan Wood, for that. And you can follow Brendan Wood on all social mediums at Brendan Wood.
Thanks, Scratch.
You're welcome. Yeah, so that's the history of the Central Coast Council. Disappointing to see, but looks like Central Coast is going to become a very private place. The main entrance of the Central Coast Leagues Club has not changed in 20-30 years. Down here at ground level is the stadium, and we'll be riding that way. Well, this used to be the Graham Park, which is now Central Coast Stadium, oval number 2. So when Graham Park was in use and you had another game of rugby league, you'd come here, or even if you were playing in the semi-finals, grand finals over there at Graham Park, you'd come here and do your warm-up training or whatever it may be. To show you the size of the Central Coast Leagues Club, that's it there. So it's quite a big structure. It's been around for a long time, and we're now standing in the Raymar Park. This has been named Raymar Park, and Raymar was the actual founder of the Central Coast Leagues Club, who brought that Leagues Club to the Central Coast here. Used to like the Central Coast Leagues Club, other than going to the Rugby League Judiciary there. The bistro used to sell the most tastiest mashed potato I've ever had. I haven't progressed very far from the Central Coast Leagues Club to the Raymar Park, which, as a point of order, you said it wasn't. That section of the park is called Raymar Park, named after the founder of Central Coast Leagues Club.
Rayfield Park.
So
Raymar Field.
Raymar Fields. Yes. So yeah, the whole area there, and that's the Central Coast Stadium over there. Yeah, that's right, Leagues Club Park. Central Coast Stadium there. Just come across the old signage, Graham Park, and that's the Brisbane Water behind us. We're about to head down that way. Actually, that mountain will be our final stopping point down there. It's Blackwall Mountain. Back to you later on from Blackwall Mountain. Growing up as a child in Woy Woy, about 14 k's from here, this is the closest McDonald's to about 1990. It's going to be about a 15-minute trip up to the West Gosford McDonald's on the Pacific Highway, or now called the Central Coast Highway. We probably did it as a family once every 2 months if we're lucky. Would never dine in, of course. Father would like to go to the McDonald's and go down the foreshore and eat down there. So yeah, we didn't get a McDonald's to about 1990, I think, maybe probably 1990, 91. Well, here we are, well into the halfway mark of our journey from Gosford to Woy Woy. Gosford is way over there where we see those sailing boats, and we've travelled past Tascott train station and on to the halfway mark of Woy Woy, and we just stopped here for a moment of reflection at the Brisbane Water, township of, or the suburb of Cooliwong. Up there, houses on the hill. Random interesting fact, when I first got my P plates, which you can do at age 17 in New South Wales, still in year 12, actually probably year 11, year 12, over that 1990 summer holiday, my father got me a job as a delivery person for the local bowl shop at Deepwater Plaza. And I'll tell you what, I made a lot of alcohol deliveries in my first car, being the 1982 VC Holden Commodore, up into this Cooliwong area. And that's how I did. Before that, I'd never really been up there, but there are houses hidden up above that house line that have very extremely steep one-way in driveways, and as a 17-year-old P-plater, reversing down some of those driveways after making a delivery of like 6 or 7 cases of beer, could be a harrowing sort of experience.
Are we saying a lot of these people are alcoholics as well?
Look, I'm not saying that, but look, let's look at the facts. A lot of deliveries were made up there, so either that or they don't want to carry their own alcohol supplies up there. Right. So that's Cooliwong.
Here's the train to your right, by the way, Coach. Just pan over there, you'll see the Sydney to Wyong train, I reckon it might be. Just sit tight, we'll be here in a couple of seconds.
Alright, that's the bike path there. Seen a few cyclists out here today. While we're waiting for the train to come by, I'll just pause it. 2 minutes later, we're still waiting for the train that Brendan saw a few hundred metres away. Was it a ghost train? Kieran Wood, the ghost train does exist.
I could check the map, this trip map, and just tell us where we are.
At Brendan Wood on all social mediums, just check the trip app, and it's saying the train has passed us, but we've been looking just there and no train has passed us, which leads to believe, is this the famous Central Coast ghost train?
That's right.
That has gone past. Just off Brisbane Water Drive, Cooliwong, in about 1985-86, some people built this restaurant in a relatively, at the time, undisturbed section of land. There was certainly no marina here like it is now, and you'd see the occasional moored boat. And they built this structure here, which was nicknamed the Taj Mahal. because it just was so big and it stood out. The name Taj Mahal was named by local residents who were up in arms about it being built here, and a massive legal argument with the between the owners and the council took place. It actually didn't open for several years later. Now it's called the Boathouse Bar and Dining, and we now have a marina with some rather large vessels and home of the Maritime Services Board as well, I think they used to be called. And for those of you wondering, how is Cooliwong spelt? K-O-O-L-E-W-O-N-G, Cooliwong. It's about 2-3 k's from Woy Woy. Well, here we are about 500-600 metres out from Woy Woy Township, and we're about to cross over the Spike Milligan Bridge. Spike Milligan was an Irish comedian, TV personality and radio personality who was born in 1918 and died in 2002. But why is Spike Milligan's name so popular or well known around the Woy Woy area? Spike's mother lived here in Woy Woy. In fact, 1983, Spike wrote a series of books for the New South Wales Road Traffic Authority on cycling safety. So when you think cycling Woy Woy, you think of Spike Milligan. And we now have a bridge named after him along this wonderful bicycle pathway infrastructure that goes from Gosford to Woy Woy or Woy Woy to Gosford. Now, I know it says no diving off the Spike Milligan Bridge, but diving is not jumping, and I think as a youngster I might have even jumped off that side of the bridge. Don't tell no one. And just here we have a plaque on the Spike Milligan Bridge. Well, here we are about to come into Woy Woy. I lived at Woy Woy from April 1979 to about February 92. Woy Woy Wharf. It's got the ferry service coming up the channel. The Bayview with a new design. Bit of construction going on around here. This should be a car park just to the left of us. We're going to negotiate here, coming to the boulevard, Brisbane Drive to the Woy Woy Town Centre. For a comprehensive tour of the Woy Woy Town Centre, please check out my YouTube channel for a tour around Woy Woy Town Centre. If you're out doing the bike ride from Gosford to Woy Woy or passing through Woy Woy, I highly recommend the Bayview Hotel just across the road from the Brisbane Water and the wharf for lunch. Very, very tasty. Good menu, very good atmosphere there. You can watch your Fox Sports while you sit out here in the open air, trains and the mountains and the water. The sound of construction going on in the background. And we're about to mount up and head down towards the waterfront by Brick Wharf Road. Until then. Well, here we are at the intersection of Brick Wharf Road and North Burge Road in Woy Woy. And this is the old Lions Park, and this have the annual carnival was down here. The Woy Woy Bowling Club over there is now closed and is in a rather sad state of affairs. But over here we have the Rip Bridge on Maitland Bay Drive, which connects the peninsula to the greater suburbs of Kincumber, Empire Bay, Kilcare, Erina Fair, Gosford. Also get the Terrigal and up the northern part of the Central Coast via the Rip Bridge. The Rip Bridge opened in 1974, and there appears to be some conjecture about whether it opened in 74 or 71, depending on what site you look at. But
I guarantee 74.
research from fact checker Brendan Wood. You can follow him on all social mediums at Brendan Wood. Certainly confirms that the Rip Bridge did open in 1974. The Rip Bridge is it's quite high. As a young person, I did once jump off it, as you did back then, and I said to myself, going down, never again. It's called the Rip Bridge because quite underneath it's a fairly massive rip and tide, which takes you very quickly to the other side. And luckily, due to my surf life-saving skills, I was able to swim out of that rip. So yeah, so also down here is the Woy Woy waterfront, and this particular location around about here used to be the start of the Woy Woy High annual cross country. Now, some of you might ask, who won the cross country in 1989 and 1991? Well, that was me. I won the cross country in 89 and 91. I come second in 1990. I can't remember who beat me, but he hounded me for 12 months about beating me. But nonetheless, I took back the gold medal in 1991. The cross country was 5 kilometres long. We used to run 2.5 kilometres along the waterfront here, do a U-turn and come back to this start and finish point. During training for the lead up to ADF, I also used to come down here and train, because we had to get a BFA battle fitness assessment pass mark of 2.4 kilometres in 10 minutes. This was my training ground for my career into the ADF. When you think of pelicans, you either think of the NBA team out of New Orleans or Woy Woy. Woy Woy is very well known for its pelicans. We saw back there at Brick Wharf Road, there's a crowd of people watching the pelicans. As you can see, the seagulls down there aren't particularly fazed by the greater creature. The pelicans have the largest beak of any bird. They're an inland water bird, and they obviously survive off the fish, which you can tell is quite plentiful in this area. They can fly at a height of 3,000 feet and go for up to 59 kilometres to their destination. Woy Woy is very well known. If you come to Woy Woy and you go to any water, or near the water, you're most likely to see pelicans. And if we have a look over here, we've got a whole island of pelicans out there, and people like to sit and watch the pelicans.
Good to see you, Crouch.
Oh, I'll see you down there, Wood.
Okay, mate.
Extremely loose gravel. We're pushing on.
What on, Crouch?
Yeah, a lot of rocks up that. Last little bit on the peak, a little downward slope there, and a lot of these hidden rocks there that you don't really see until you're upon them. It's too far to go anywhere, so you got to commit. Good mountain biking. Well worthwhile. Well, we're pretty much at the peak of Blackwall Mountain. We just parked the bikes. Some real tough mountain biking going up there, but the bikes handled it quite well. We're overlooking the entrance to Brisbane Waters, more so Broken Bay, township of Ettalong down there. And right across here is Palm Beach in Barrenjoey Head. There's a lighthouse on top there, which you may have seen from the previous videos. Also the home of, or the filming set of Home and Away. You'll probably get your bike through here, but we opted to get off and just stretch our legs. You see it gets a bit narrow and bumpy there. Yeah, we're just climbing up to the peak of Blackwall Mountain. As a young fella, Dad used to bring me up here all the time. He would sit up here for ages and just watch. And there we have the township of Ettalong. Further along there, we see those waves coming in is Ocean Beach and Umina Beach, followed by Pearl Beach, Latonga, Line Island, as I said before, the Pittwater out there, Barrenjoey Head, urban sprawl to our left. You can see the sandbar there, so It's quite hazardous to vessels coming in. You've really got to stay right. And that Wagstaff point out here, those waves there are due to the shallow water. And it's many boats have come unstuck there and sunk, overturned, flipped out. Wood, you may recall, last tour we actually walked from that point there around to Batonga.
Via Pearl Beach?
Via Pearl Beach, yes. For that journey and more, you can follow Brendan Wood on all social media platforms at Brendan Wood.
If people want to find it really easy, you just put in my name, Brendan Wood, Pearl Beach, Batonga, and hopefully Google takes you there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But this is excellent, Crouch. Like, you can see a ferry that's left Ettalong maybe 20 minutes ago.
Yep.
Heading across Broken Bay towards Palm Beach.
You can.
It's going to go to the right-hand side of Barrenjoey Headland.
Yeah.
And it was at the top of the Barrenjoey Lighthouse that you walked to the top of maybe 6-7 weeks ago.
Absolutely, yes.
That also is an excellent way to get the heart rate up.
Yeah, it's a massive big climb, but also down here is the old home of the Peninsula Raiders.
Yeah. Interesting, Crouch. It's marked out for rugby union.
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
The 20 metre.
I just saw, rugby union traditionally use the black markings and have 5 metre intervals as opposed to 10 metres. That water tower I was talking about before is just over there that you saw at the start of the feature, Mount Ettalong. The big structure down there used to be called the Ettalong Memorial Club. It's where I had my Year 12 function, graduation.
Ettalong
It's now called
Club Ettalong.
Club Ettalong. Now it's got as a resort name now. Resort. And a random fact for school sport. Down around this location, just on that point there, I did windsurfing and sailing in a catamaran. The Woy Woy High offered those water sports for us. I used to do, I think, sailing in term 4 and windsurfing in term 1. Obviously term 2 and term 3 were rugby league. That was the only choice you got. So that's where the ferry comes in that you may have seen in other videos. But yeah. Well, we'll end the feature here from Mount Ettalong. And back to you soon with more locations. It's a mountain we're just up. Now down at ground level, it's that big building we saw from the mountain. And we're now riding through the streets of Ettalong, past the Ettalong Beach Memorial Club. New apartments certainly weren't there when I lived down here. Very soon we'll be coming up to Ettalong Beach. Yeah, so it used to be a water slide, wasn't it? ground from a ground level perspective. We have the Line Island in front of us, Barrenjoey Point and Palm Beach to the left. Ferry back to Palm Beach. Leaving Ettalong Beach and heading back around towards Ocean Beach. Getting better views of Line Island, Broken Bay and the Pacific Ocean. These apartments up here in about 2002 maybe, 2001, 2002, probably 2002, 2003. I had to get my brother a place to live and I chose there for him. Basically so I could come down on holidays, grab my surfboard and go right there. I think we lived there for 6 or 12 months. It's a good place. Had the top balcony. I think that was our one, well, his one. Telegraph pole. Top one facing there. The Barrenjoey lighthouse that we climbed up a couple of months ago. Light Island. I used to train from the far point of Umina to the far point of Ettalong and back. Ocean Beach Surf Lifesaving Club, my home beach. The waves aren't very big today. We're in Trafalgar Avenue, Woy Woy, just to the east of Woy Woy South Primary School. School I went to from kindergarten through to year 6, across the road from the Umina fire station in Woy Woy. I suppose you can't argue that, but nonetheless, and this is Runway Park. The reason why it's called a Runway Park, because Trafalgar Avenue in World War II was actually a World War II runway. So all these houses here are post World War II. Well, we've almost made it back to Woy Woy, just going past the Woy Woy High, or what was known as Woy Woy High. It's now called Brisbane Water College, or Senior College. They've now merged with Umina High, and now they just have the Brisbane Water College. Umina High was always the arch enemy during rugby league on that footy oval. So I spent every morning before high school, every recess and every lunchtime, and a bit of time after school. I used to live about a 10-minute walk from here. It's the front of the school, it's the office, principal's office, and the old assembly hall. And this is just a short 2-minute ride into Woy Woy. Well, here we are just back at the Woy Woy train station. I won't be taking that train back to Sydney. But yeah, officially I ended the ride mapping at McDonald's Woy Woy, where I had a chocolate milkshake. Now just journeying back to the Woy Woy train station just over there.